Ding, 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 round one.
All right.
Ding, ding, ding.
It's round
We
three.
got our Robert on.
All right, we are getting ready to get started. We're streaming now, so we'll call this meeting to order. The Whitfield County Board of Commissioners special called meeting for our millage rate for November 7th, 2025. If you'll please stand for our pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we do have 4 commissioners present, so that meets our quorum requirements. We need to approve the agenda that has just 2 items on it. Is there a motion? Motion by Commissioner Robbins to approve the agenda. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Jones. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand or say aye. Any opposed, nay. Passes on a 3-0 vote. I will start with just a brief presentation. I know some of you have been here at prior meetings, so try to keep it almost exactly the same for every meeting, so for the people that hadn't been here yet. So we'll start off with just the history of our millage rate. This is what we call the M&O. That's our main budget, the general fund. You sometimes hear us refer to it as. You can see at the beginning of the century, it was at 6.67, and then it peaked around 2016 at 9.56. These are mills, so that's the rate of the, what in the world is that? I don't know what happened there. Okay, we're back. It peaked in 2016, and then last year, a year ago, I should say, we lowered it to 5.5 mil. That was the 5th time in a row that we had done what they call a rollback, and actually almost all of those were exceeding the rollback, but at a minimum the rollback rate. But because of the strange circumstances that we all were faced with the dual assessments and issues with the digest, there was a second millage rate that we set over the summer, and that was at 4.35. The reason for that was basically we had already collected and billed all the money that we needed. Wasn't necessarily the case with the schools and some of the other taxing authorities, but we didn't need any additional, so we lowered it basically to 0 for that second bill for 2024. So if you put that into dollars, so these are millions of dollars, I didn't point that out earlier, a lady asked me about that, so these are in millions, so 24 million was what that millage rate collected in 2016. And it's been pretty steadily declining, in total 18% since then. For last year, we collected 9.85 million. 19.85 million last year, which is an 18% reduction. So not everybody's tax bill is the same. Some people's goes up more, goes down more, some people appeal, but that's everything that we build for our M&O budget to the entire county. Everybody pays the M&O budget. That's another point of clarification. The Dalton City does not pay special tax district because they have a city tax that basically replaces that, more or less. And then if you're in an unincorporated county, you do pay a special tax district, which is on top of that. But this is the budget that everybody pays, including businesses, and it collected about $4 million less last year than 2016. People ask about our expenses. Obviously, they haven't stayed the same, just like eggs and gasoline, everything else has changed since 2016. Our healthcare is our #1 increase at a high level from 2016, where it has increased not quite double from last year, but I can tell you we're almost through with 2025. By the end of this year, it will more than double from 2016, 200% increase from there in cost. If you look at our overall budget, I put a little note up there, 68% is related to the salary and the benefits of personnel for our budget.
What is the numbers on your bars, the 4.8 and the 9.8?
Millions, I'm sorry, that's also millions. So we spent 4.8 million on healthcare. We're self-insured. Some people are aware of that, some people aren't. We don't have a health insurance company or that we go through. We have an administrator, but we're self-insured. So that's, somebody goes to the doctor, they send us the bill, the administrator pays it, and they bill us. And there's not a lot of overhead. There's not an insurance company making a profit off of our employees or anything like that. They pay a deductible and they pay a premium. And so in 2024 it was 9 billion. So that's that number. Okay, we had the staff look at surrounding counties because we want to remain competitive, both last year and this year and going forward as well as far as the county tax. So the counties, Bartow, Catoosa, Floyd, Gordon, and Walker, they've already set their 2025 and I guess sent out their bills, or they're about to send out their bills. So if you have a $250,000 home, it's a homestead. That means you live in that home. It's your primary residence in any of those counties. Those are the rates, and you can see where basically Catoosa is the cheapest, and we're right behind Catoosa, kind of tied with Walker, depending on what part of Walker you live in. It could be a little bit more, a little bit less. And I put our rate of $591. That's what you would have paid. That includes special tax districts. So if you're a senior, you're obviously paying less because we have a senior exemption, where these other counties don't necessarily have that, or they don't have as big a one. And that does include the special tax districts. If you're in the city of Dalton, for example, like I mentioned, you wouldn't pay that, but that's fully loaded, kind of the worst case scenario. $591 is what you would have paid last year for a $250,000 home. If your home's more than that, obviously you're going to pay more. So these are the options we're looking at tonight, and you can see the increases of the $72 for that worst case scenario, which we've already reminded people several times we're not planning on doing that one at all, but that's what we advertise. That's why we put that up there. That would be plus $72 per year on top of the $591. And then we put the 5.0 up there because that is what we sent out on your tax assessments in July or August timeframe. That was an estimate. We didn't have the digest. We didn't know where that was going to land. That would increase by $52 over the 2024 rate for the same house. And then two additional items we've added is a 4.6 rate, which is basically near inflation increase, which would add $20 per year. I want to make sure I said that right, per year, or $1.67 approximately per month is what a 4.6 millage rate. Or I mentioned earlier the 4.35. If we did that, it would be flat. That would be similar to a rollback, and you would pay no taxes if you're a homeowner. No new taxes, no new taxes. So that's all we've covered in all the other meetings, if you recall that, or, and this is on our website, so you can take pictures of it, you can stream whatever you like, but it is available if you want to download it and look at it as well. Now we'll move into public comment. I know there are a couple people downstairs on the first floor of Wells Fargo. We do have room if you want to come up just to make your public comment, if you have one, to come up to the 5th floor, and then you just have to return. We just don't have capacity for you to sit up here, but I don't want you to feel like you can't make a comment or come up to the 5th floor for your public comment if you like. Just ask that you just come up one at a time, that's all. But anyone in this room also, if you don't mind, if you have already spoken at one of the other two meetings, give someone else a chance that hasn't spoken yet, but otherwise we're happy to start with our public comment. Just say your name and address for the record.
My name's Lisa Adams. I live at 4305 North Jimmy Drive in Rocky Face. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Lisa Adams, and I'm a lifelong resident here in Whitfield County. I'm here tonight because our community is facing a serious environmental and public health crisis, and yet this board is talking about raising property taxes as if everything is fine. It is not fine. Across northwest Georgia, and especially right here in Whitfield County, PFAS contamination has reached catastrophic levels. These are not small numbers. Testing shows PFA levels in Dalton's water at over 91,000 parts per trillion. That's more than 22,000 times higher than the EPA's health advisory limit at just 4 parts per trillion. Our soil test reached over 2.1 million parts per trillion, and dust inside local homes have tested as high as 875,000 parts per trillion. That means our water, our soil, and even the air we breathe in our homes are contaminated. We can't drink safely from our taps. We can't eat fish from our lakes, rivers, and creeks. Families here are paying out of pocket for bottled water, filters, and medical expenses, all because of pollution that we didn't cause. And now, on top of that, you're asking us to pay more property tax. Let me remind you, each one of you took an oath of office to uphold the Constitution, to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the people of this county. When you knowingly raise property taxes that you know is contaminated, on property that you know is contaminated, you violate that oath, both ethically and constitutionally. We, the residents, are being forced to pay for land and homes that are unsafe and unfit for normal living conditions. This is not accountability. This is cruelty. This is not leadership. It's neglect. What we need is for this commission to stand with us, not against us. We need transparency, cleanup action, and strong advocacy, not higher bills. We need you to demand accountability from those responsible for this contamination, not punish the people who are already suffering because of it. Please do the right thing. Stop any tax increase in Whitfield County and take measures to ensure that Whitfield County's water, soil, and air is safe. Show us that you remember your oath that you took to serve and protect the people who put you here. Thank you.
My name's Andrew Henderson. I live on 1661 Farley Drive in Tunnel Hill. I'm not big on public speaking, so forgive me, but I think we should be America first, Georgia first, but especially here, we should be Whitfield County first.
Amen.
Stop selling us out to these rich developers while Whitfield County citizens have to shoulder the burden. This council has made it clear that rich investors are more important than the citizens of this county. And need I remind you, you represent and work for us, not the rich. We don't need new walking trails. We need to be able to pay our mortgages. The way you vote today will be remembered. Whitfield County is tired of being treated like trash and will stand for it no longer. The people of Whitfield County, I think it's not unreasonable to expect an itemized budget going forward. Every line. You want to talk fraud, waste, and abuse, there's plenty I'm sure we can cut out. Also, when the average median income for a household in Whitfield County is $65,000, I don't believe we should have anyone sitting up here making $200,000 with great benefits.
I got some remarks with the tax assessor's office.
Name and address.
Yeah.
Okay.
Name and address, just for the record.
232 Sprague Drive, Victor Coppinger. I don't think it's fair when you walk in the tax assessor's office and they look at appraisal of house on realtor.com. Now I could prove this. I'm not going to mention no names, but I've talked to several folks, and they're all with me on this. I got houses where I live behind me that are $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 houses. My property tax last year in ’24 was $154. Then they jumped from $154 to almost $184. And I've got $64,000 worth of damage done to my house. I went to the appeals meeting. They told me that I waited too long because I had a fall at a doctor's office. I've talked to Danny Sain about this. I've talked to Greg Bowman. They both agree with me. I went up to Bob Bailey's office one evening, one Friday evening, me and the wife. We left there at 6:15 that night. I had 2 letters. They're idiots at the tax assessor's office. Royal idiots. I think every one of them needs to be replaced and fired. It needs to be put under somebody else in the county. That's all I got to say.
First time I've come here in Nihal Kaute. I'm an immigrant. I've been here for 30 years. I have a house 23 years now. I live on 1700 Beverly Drive. Over the years, I've noticed how the tax increases. There was a time when it actually went down. Thank you for that. But this time is different. And I was asking myself why my taxes have increased so much when you said that the mill rate is going down. And the reason is that when there's an artificial demand for housing, the price of housing goes up. People are paying exorbitant a lot of money for houses. The values are really inflated. So what happens is that the general value of all the houses goes up, but it's artificial. It's not a real assessment. So I'm asking you to reevaluate how you assess the value of the houses. Because depending on the demand, the value goes up, but that goes down immediately. Right now, it's gone down. But when the tax assessment was done, and I saw the gentleman, I know the gentleman who assesses the value of my house, I went up and talked to him. He was taking pictures, this and that. I didn't ask him how much he's going to assess my house, but I knew it's going to go up. So though the mill rate goes down, since the value of the houses is artificially inflated, the taxes go up. So I'm asking you to reevaluate that, how that is being assessed. And I'm sure you're doing very good work with the money, and I'm sure you're doing good stuff. I don't know, it's beyond my pay grade. I'm sure you're doing good work with the money. I trust you with that. But I'm an immigrant. I live within my budget. I've done that all my life. I have a budget. And I can't go to a fancy restaurant. I can't buy those fancy clothes. I can't do that. Our best generation, gentlemen like you, your generation, sacrificed. And that's what made this country great.
Yes.
We have to sacrifice. There are times when you say, no, we can't spend on this, we can't spend on that. We have to sacrifice. And we have to everybody has to sacrifice. And I'm sure all of them are sacrificing. But people who are managing budgets specifically have to understand that, okay, there are things we cannot do this year, maybe next year. And we have to live within our means. Otherwise, where are we going? That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Just one comment for that. I think in a previous meeting we discussed this as well, but the Board of Assessors and the assessors actually do not work for the Board of Commissioners. So I know it's very confusing. That's the way the Constitution of Georgia is laid out and the laws are laid out, so we can't hire or fire any of those folks downstairs. Their meetings are open to the public, which I think was a surprise. A lot of people aren't aware of that. So they meet once a month, and of course you can meet with them individually about your own property, but they do have open meetings. You can attend those as well. But like you said, I can't tell them what method to use for appraisal. I've tried, and I got in trouble, so I don't do it anymore. But that is something people are always telling me to do, and I've kind of got my hands slapped, so I don't do it anymore.
I've got a comment to make on that, no offense.
Sure.
But when you go to the tax assessor's office, they tell you one thing, and then they never show up at your house to do an appraisal. We talked about that earlier
You
today.
mentioned it, yeah.
Me and you talked about it earlier today. I missed 3 doctor's appointments, cost me $150 at AOSM. The gentleman that was supposed to come to my house never come. But yet I seen him at Choo Choo Barbecue and Tractor Supply on county time at Tractor Supply. So we're paying the tax assessors out of our tax money to run around at Tractor Supply and buy dog food or whatever he buys there. I mean, come on. Something's got to be done with the assessor's office. Something's got to be done. It's bull crap. Sorry, that's all I gotta say.
Michael White, 1951 Donald Beaverdale Road, Northeast. You saved $591.28 on a $250,000 home?
Yes.
My
Not the
home
school
is
tax.
appraised by my mortgage company being valued at $165,000. I'm paying $1,700 this year in taxes. I bought my home in 2006. It's been $590 some odd dollars off and on. Since then, up until it went up from there in 23 to 1,200. It was 1,100 that was sent to my mortgage company, and then another bill for 143 I would receive. So you say that second bill was nothing? We should have received no increase? We did receive an increase.
Yes, I mentioned that this does not include any school tax for any of the other counties or our counties. Their tax is about 3 times ours, so it's at 14.5 mils, I believe, roughly 4.4 and change mils, and ours is either 4.35 or whatever we set it at tonight, so it's
So
roughly
that's what the increase is for?
three times the
Right.
bill, or 70% of your bill roughly is for the schools.
Danny W. Thing came out and said that the assessors are decreasing commercial properties up $1 million, hundreds of $1,000s for others. Why are they decreasing commercial properties and increasing ours to make up the difference? That is something that needs to be addressed, and that is something that's unfair. How do we address this? How do we get rid of these commissioners, or these assessors, excuse me?
Go to the Board of Assessors and bring up your objections.
Yeah, but how do we get new assessors?
They hire and fire those,
Who does?
the Board of Assessors.
So we're at their mercy.
Yes.
Okay, so there's nothing we can do.
No what?
I mean, we can say all we want to the Board of Assessors, but they are the ones that decide what they want to do.
That's correct.
Okay, so the only thing we can do is bring it up to the lawyer, right? I mean, is there anything else we can do to them?
Well,
Y'all
because for
can't
your
do anything to
individual
them.
properties, you can always appeal, like, I think 4,900 people.
Yeah, well,
They
if
don't
we don't get
listen.
there in time, if we have a car accident on the way, there's nothing that we can do. If we don't make it there in time, or if we have to work, or we can't get the time off, we are at the mercy, there's nobody else there. At least Sane came out and let us know what they're doing with commercial properties and making us pay the difference. Yeah, something needs to change in this county.
And then get rid of assessors.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. We can't do it,
Hello, Bonnie Dennis, 1013 Holly Grove Drive. Honestly, the dollar amount, if you guys can keep it the same or close, I'd be fine with that. Your guys' revenue is 62 million on your site.
Yep.
The school is 163 million
That's right.
for 3,500 students. I think they need to be looked into. I think the assessors need to be looked into. I agree with the gentleman about the, looking at the Realtor and all them sites. My assessment matches up damn near to the dollar with Realtor.com. I am not a person that owns a $300,000 house. I make like 40, 50,000 a year. My house is not worth that. I did do the appeal. They knocked off 6,000. What is that gonna do to my bill? The final bill? Nothing. I haven't heard anything. They haven't given me the final bill.
The bill will come out later this month.
Yeah,
The one good news
eventually.
is, even if it's $6,000 or $1,000, your
It's
bill is
something.
frozen. You're frozen, so you don't have to worry about any future growth for a couple of years, so that's a good thing.
On your guys' expenses, summary of expenses, there was a lot of departments that stayed pretty close, maybe 2%, 3% increase. You have 5 departments that have an increase of 10 to 20% in their budget. 10 departments that have 20% increase. I think somebody should go back and ask them ones who had a higher increase to see what they can do to knock down their budget like the rest of the households are having to do. I think that's valid. If some departments can stay in their budget or close to, I think everybody should be able to get a little closer. Another thing, you keep mentioning the 2016 taxes. My taxes in 2016 were $997, which is $1,000. This year, or 2024, it's sitting at $2,496, so $2,500, so that's $1,500 increase from 2016 to now. The last thing I wanted to point out, everybody's talked about all the buildings, all these buildings getting put up, the duplexes. Duplexes are going out of control. Hopefully it knocks down the rate or rent for the families that need that. There is a duplex, a 2-unit duplex of 4 families living in it. Their taxes for 2024 were $6,300. And if we have all these duplexes going up and their taxes are relatively in that ballpark for each unit, shouldn't we be all right on money coming in? It was, the math ain't mathing for most of us, that's the problem. Honestly, your $500 for everything that is included, the sheriff's department, fire and everything, I'm fine with that, just try not to raise it anymore, is what I'm asking, okay? Thank you for your time.
Well, I'm Kenneth Nicholson, I live at 1128 Holly Grove Circle, Dalton, Georgia. I don't know, I got a lot to say, but let's make it short and sweet, I guess. But I don't understand why y'all keep raising taxes. I mean, y'all say it ain't y'all, but who is it?
The schools have increased since 2016 pretty substantially.
Just we pay taxes
Tens of
when we
millions.
die, the only sure thing we got is death and taxes. We buy shit, we gotta pay taxes on it. We sell shit, we gotta pay taxes on it. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just speaking my mind, because that's what, I thought that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And I apologize, my name is Kenneth Nicholson, I go by Marty. Everybody knows me by Marty. Well, you good old city boys, they arrested me last Saturday because I told them my name's Marty Nicholson. These county guys, I love them to death. I've dealt with them. They may not remember me, but I've dealt with them. But these city, they're assholes.
Careful with the language, careful with the language. I appreciate you, I appreciate you.
The city boys are not like But yeah, I mean, okay, I started a business, okay?
Thank you.
You know how long it lasted? 1 month. Taxes. I'm better off than a lot of these people out here, I ain't gonna lie. God's blessed me, but, you know, we can't even go eat. How can we can't afford nothing. I mean, it's not right. And I don't know, I guess y'all can't do nothing about it, right?
I can't do anything about school taxes, that's.
No, I'm not talking about school tax, I'm talking about regular taxes.
Federal or state, no, we don't have any income tax.
No, I mean,
or
this tax they're wanting to do now,
Which one, I don't know which one that is.
whatever that is.
Yes, that's what we're gonna vote on tonight. Yes.
Because we're barely scraping by, man, I ain't got a job no more thanks to the taxes. I sell at the flea market, but again, I'm blessed, I guarantee I'm a lot better off than some of these guys. And, I mean, that's what I'm gonna say.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And people listen. If they can't do nothing about it, we can. We're the one that votes. So, it ain't right. There's no color in here. Everybody's the same. We all bleed red. Jesus loves every one of us. I just don't think it's right. Y'all have a good night.
Any other public comment? One coming up? Oh, she's just coming around, that's it.
Doran, live in Chattanooga Road, Tunnel Hill. Okay. So first question I wanted to ask is, who decided we would have meetings here?
I think it was more tradition. We've had all the special call meetings we have here, all the regular meetings we have at the courthouse. So it was an oversight, but that's just the way we've been doing budget meetings, all our special call meetings we have here, and it's usually fine. But yeah, we haven't had a tax meeting in many, many years, which is a good thing. But yeah, we overestimated or underestimated, I should say.
Yes, definitely next time, let's do those at the facility that better accommodates it.
No problem.
In terms of the Board of Assessors that have been brought up a few times, so the Board of Assessors are appointed by this body, is that true? And when do those appointments come up
6 years.
every 6 years? When would that be the next time that?
It rotates, so they're not all the same time. So there'd be one, I think, in 2 years or so, one every couple of years, so the one comes up and
Okay.
rotates every 6 years.
And then then they decide who does bring in to do the assessments? Do they choose the assessors? They're not, the board does not assess, they hire assessors.
Right, they give direction, yeah, they tell them what to do, and they approve the assessments that come up before they go out to you or to me or to anybody else, that's true.
All right, so on the financial information, I think as pointed out by my husband last meeting, very wise to point out that we are hitting hearings but don't get to see any real detail of year-over-year comparison of the finance status. So that just seems like an obvious need in a hearing like this, but it is on your website, so I did pull it up.
And we'll have budget meetings in, later this month and in December for 2026. We had, of course, last year for this year, for 2025, but there will be additional hearings and you can, hear all the discussions and proposals for the 2026 budget.
Okay. So the question I wanted to bring up is, around in the financial report available on the website, comprehensive financial report. When I look at page 168, it breaks down across from, it goes back from 2019 to 2024, the governmental activity expenses. When I look at that, total government activity expenses is $107 million for 2024. That includes general government, judicial, public safety, public works, health and welfare, culture and rec, housing development, and interest on long-term debt. That's $107 million in 2024. In 2019, it was $92 million expenses. So then I look at the revenue number, and I'm just looking at the revenue for taxes, property taxes. In 2024, I see a $40 million number, no, 32 million. $32 million for 2024 in property taxes. And then in 2019, it looks like that property tax revenue was 34 million. But that doesn't align with the numbers you showed, the 24 and 19 million.
Again, that was just the M&O, that's the main budget. That probably includes all the special tax districts as well. Remember, some people pay those, some people don't. City of Dalton doesn't pay those, so that was just a like-for-like comparison on the M&O, which is the maintenance and operation budget.
Okay. So
But there's a fire district and those other districts that are paid for by the unincorporated county, which is where you are. But if you're in the City of Dalton, it wouldn't be, which is about a third roughly of the population does not pay that tax, but a third or two-thirds do.
So that's just, that would be helpful to kind of be more clear on those numbers.
Yeah, and that does include all the special tax districts in that figure for a sample $250,000 home. But the numbers I showed earlier, just to be fair in comparison, was just the M&O budget, which is what we're setting tonight. We're not setting anything on the special tax districts. There's no changes on those whatsoever. We're just setting the millage rate for the M&O, so that's the other reason.
Okay, when I looked at another item in this report on page 186, it's your full-time employees that have changed since 2015 to 2024. And as we pointed out in that slide, I think it's 68% of the budget comes from salaries and benefits.
Yes.
And I find 200 new employees over the last 9 years. And 100 of those are in public safety. I personally am good with spending more on public safety, but I am curious about the other areas of 20 new in the judicial. So what kind of employees work in the judicial section?
That's time.
Yeah, we might need to sit down with you and with our CFO, and we're happy to do that. But that includes not just the judges, but the district attorneys, all the special drug courts and mental health courts and all those courts, the staff for those as well. It includes the public defender's office. That's just a sample. Of course, the magistrates are included in that, probate judges, their staff, all that's in that number.
7 to 22, 300% increase in culture and rec. 15 to 29 employees from 2015 to 2024 in housing and development. What is housing and development? What are employees that work in housing and development? Housing and welfare, I'm sorry. No, there's health and welfare went from no employees to 5. Housing and development went from 15 to 29. I'm curious what health and welfare and housing and development employees.
Yeah.
Senior centers, health and welfare.
Yeah, that used to be shared with the city. Now we run the senior center. So.
We didn't have that prior to 23.
Yeah, it was
So
part of
those
the
are
state. We
the
took it over
employees
from
that
the
are
state.
there. Housing and development is inspections, engineering.
Permitting.
Yes.
Okay. I
But we
just-
are over time. You have any final questions?
Yeah, my last point is just that yes, definitely everybody here, obviously I agree that we know the school board is the huge portion of this, but, as I said last time, every dollar matters, so any increase increases and hits our pockets. But everybody, please keep coming to these meetings, because we can't take our attention off of this. But the voting that just got passed on the election that just happened, where there's a cap on the value used against you as you evaluate property taxes, that's great, but the millage is still there to mess with. So I don't really understand how that protects. 'Cause
Well,
you still
since we
have
don't
a millage
control the
levy.
assessments, you know, that people were complaining, like, why is my taxes going up? Well, we lowered your rate, we didn't increase it, and the gentleman said, well, that's because my house went up 100% or 50%, some crazy number. Obviously, we can't cut the millage rate 100%, be nothing left for anybody. But individual cases are all over the place, and we have to do the average increase. So, setting it at a cap of 3% for homeowners means that you don't basically have to worry about those 20, 30, 40% increases anymore.
But you-
And if we still set the millage rate, yes, but we can drop it 3% and then your taxes are flat. That's all we have to do. As opposed to trying to drop it 20% and then the people that went up 40% are still paying more and they're complaining, I'm paying more. Well, I can't cut the rate 40% in 1 year. We'd all go broke and there'd be nobody in the jail. So they'd be all on the street. So we can't have that.
Okay, thank you.
The cap is really 2 years too late.
I agree. Yeah. It'll be better in the future.
Hi, I'm Roberta. I just want to recap what I said last Friday, since we were talking about percentages. When I moved home in 2025, my property taxes were $500. So from 2000 to 25, it's gone from 500 to 21. That is a 400% increase, but the value of my house has only increased 200%. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't gotten a cost of living increase in 5 years, not 1%. So like Stacy said, even though I was poor, middle, rich, poor, back to middle, it's not about class, it's not about color, it's not about party, it's about the people. And I know that when I raised 3 children, I gave them everything that they needed and most of what they wanted on a single, non-college graduated salary. Every penny counts. So we're just asking, please, no new taxes. If we could just table it for another year. We've just come out of a really bad 4 years and we haven't recovered yet. So we're just asking, please, just no new taxes right now, okay? Thanks.
Can you get out? I don't know if you can get out your stuff.
I'm Deborah Jolly and I live at 4808 South Dixie Highway. And I have rental property and you guys are killing my tenants because I have to raise my rents. And I mean, there's families with, a family just had a little baby. They're gonna have to move. You guys are raising these taxes so much. I've been there 26 years and I've never seen anything like this. Who decided, my understanding, was it not somebody from Atlanta came down here and bitty-bodied and all the stuff, or was it, who decided all this? I know the assessors, but did it come from God or where did it come from?
The state did require them to reassess every property.
Well, I think that Whitfield County should, instead of Atlanta, some big thing that I mean, they're down there in Atlanta, I mean, come on. I mean, like, it should stay in Whitfield County.
I agree with
But
that, because they don't get
my
any money.
tenants-
Atlanta doesn't get any of the property tax money, but they want to mess with our assessments, and that's the way state law is written, so we need to have some people
Well,
run for state house
I'm
and
speaking,
change that.
well, I'm speaking on behalf of my tenants, and I've talked to them, and I mean, and it's just like, I'm raising the rent. It's like, do you guys not care? I mean, these people, these poor little people that's renting the places. I mean, they look at me like I'm the devil, you know, and they don't understand. I mean, the garbage service, I mean, everything is just increasing, and it's like, do you guys not understand? I mean, with a business, especially rental property, I mean, I have like 4808, 4810, 4822, and on. And there's 4 apartments in one and these people are just, they're suffering. I mean, but anyway, I mean, I'm just like, can you guys not do something about this? I mean, I wasn't even gonna
Yes,
speak.
they
I mean,
can vote
I just,
no.
this was, it just got the best of me here. So you guys are gonna vote tonight on, what are you voting on? Or the
Just the county,
Right there.
millage rate, yeah.
well, I hope
You vote no.
God is behind you, because, you know, I mean, I'm telling you, this is just not, it's not just, you know, I mean, I've been there a lot of years. You know, all my properties are paid for, but the thing is the poor little people, I've got people that's there 7 years, they're gonna have to move because I'm gonna have to raise rent. I have no idea what these buildings is the taxes, I can't even begin, because you guys are waiting to send the tax bill out. You know, but anyway, I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize.
But I mean, my tenants.
I worry about the renters too.
There's people with little babies and stuff, they're gonna have to move in with their mother and their father, and I don't, you know, and that's, but anyway. Just don't raise the taxes.
Amen.
Good evening. Fiona Kimsey, 1075 Durham Street. Unfortunately, you've gotten to see my angry side. I'm normally a very nice person, and I have people here that know me that know that I would take off the shirt off my back to give to people. With that said, I'm here tonight not just as a taxpayer, but as a voice for the many residents who feel unheard, overlooked, and increasingly burdened. We are gathered here because the board is proposing that significant property tax increase over the rollback millage rate. But before we talk numbers, let's talk trust. Because trust is the foundation of public service, and right now the foundation is cracking. Over the past year and beyond, we have seen a troubling pattern of decisions being made in defiance of public input. In March, the board approved a controversial rezoning for the data center on Old Hilton Road, despite loud and sustained opposition from residents. The vote passed 3-2 with the chairman breaking the tie. The community spoke clearly, and the board didn't listen. Going back to the Patterson Farm, yes, I'm still stuck on that. The development moved forward with a TAD to support high-end commercial growth. And even though the school board initially withheld the support and many residents questioned whether the deal truly served the broader community, it went through. I still think we got screwed, forgive my word there. At Prater's Mill, a beloved historic site, the board removed the barn structure after deeming it unsafe, but failed to meaningfully engage the Prater's Mill Foundation or the public beforehand. Foundation, which has cared for the site for decades, expressed deep frustration over being sidelined. Earlier this year, homeowners were blindsided by property assessments, triggering fears of unaffordable tax hikes. Only after public outcry did the board consider a cap on assessment increases. And now, this proposed tax increase rushed through with hearings held in a bank building and at times that make it hard for working families to attend. That is not accessibility, that's avoidance. These are not isolated incidents. These reflect a deeper problem, a board that sees public engagement as a formality, not a responsibility. And let's not forget the growing frustration around transparency. I have reached out to Blanca, I'm not sure if she's here today, for multiple open records requests, a legal right of the public, and these have gone unanswered. She's responsible for responding to these requests and has failed yet to reply to me, repeated inquiries, or even acknowledge that she has received my inquiry or my request. This isn't just inconvenient, it's unacceptable. When the public is denied access to information, it gives the appearance of wrongdoing. I was hoping to come prepared to ask questions about numbers. I'm not able to do so now, and we should be able to see where the money is being paid. I was asking for information about vendors, how much, services are being paid, what kind of payments have been made, who is they're been made to. Because I really feel that the public should be able to see what your budget is, what exactly you're spending your money on, and how you got to that budget. Did you even consider lower rates or lowering things that you would have to pay? We understand the budgets are tight, and we understand that services cost money, but we also understand what it means to stretch a paycheck, to live on a fixed income, to worry about whether we can afford to stay in our homes. And we see our concerns dismissed or minimized, and it sends a clear message that our struggles don't matter. I'm asking you, no, I'm urging you to reconsider this tax increase, not just because it's financially painful, but because it's being pushed through without meaningful public engagement. We deserve better, we deserve to be heard, we deserve leaders who see us not as line items, but as neighbors. And let this hearing be more than just a formality. Let it be a turning point. Listen to us, work with us, and most importantly, remember who you represent. Thank you.
Yeah, just a reminder, keep it talking about the millage rate or taxes or finances, not zoning or other things, if you don't mind. But go ahead.
Oh, I had no.
I know, I just reminding from the last week, we can't get off on, these other topics, but go ahead.
Well, I'm Melissa Williams, and I live at 298 Moots Way, which is off Mill Creek, where you like to stroll through your leisurely path, it seems like, that we've had on Facebook that you kind of showed up in our neighborhood, which is fine. But what I'm here today about is the tax increase. I want you guys, before you go back into your meeting, to think about a few things, because we have the most brilliant minds sitting right here on this board.
Yes.
We have a realtor that is the best in the business. We have businessmen, bankers, businessmen that have the top knowledge in Whitfield County. That's why we elected you.
Amen.
We want you to go back there. We want you to put these minds together that you are the type people, if I have a problem, I would trust your opinion. You would be who I would want to call to find out. But here in Dalton, right now, Mannington Mills is just now laying off. We have other mills that are laying off. The young professionals that we really wanted to bring in now are having trouble affording and are going elsewhere to actually get housing because they can't afford that initial first investment. So they're making it up and then traveling in. Yes, we're getting their tax dollars through the revenue of, gas stations, buying their food, different stuff like that. But now you go into your businesses. Some of the businessmen that I'm talking to in restaurants, they're starting to struggle. I've got one that's asked me to actually, if they could kind of postpone paying the rent a little bit because it's been a slow time. People aren't going out as much, so that's a ripple effect down the line. We need to keep the mom and pops open because the mom and pops are the ones who are at your ball fields, are ones supporting your ball teams, are the ones who are in there generating, talking to everyone. They're the ones who we look at, and if you see somebody who needs groceries, you go to the grocery store and you take it to their door.
That's right.
And you don't tell anybody.
That's right.
That's what we've got in Dalton, and that's what we've always had in Dalton. So be thinking about that when you go back in your meeting, that there are people hurting here. There's people getting laid off. Industry's a little bit slow right now. And even though that, we're all going to have to dig down deep, if there's any way that you guys can put your great minds together, because you are the best that Dalton has, that's why we have you here. And we're appreciative of you. Thank you.
Ronald Tavares, 4045 West Parliament Drive, Cohutta. I just like for you guys, listen to what she said has maybe changed what I had to say a little bit. Y'all got great minds, good businesses. So think about this. Put yourself in the average working person's place. Having to survive daily, not live, survive. With the raising gas prices up and down every day, food prices, everything, vehicles. Just heard utilities, water going up. So put yourself in those places. Think about that seriously, and think about this increase that y'all want to put on everybody. Now, I want to ask you this question: if just say I didn't pay my taxes for how many years? How long would it be before y'all took my place?
We don't do the auctioning or foreclosures, if that's what you want. But it's typically 3 years.
3 years, okay. And in 3 years, I wish I had brought my bill of what our house insurance has increased in the last 3-4 times that we've got it. Now, our house hasn't done, I haven't done any whatsoever upgrades, but it keeps going up. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but maybe the person that's doing these assessments should go in the houses also, make an appointment to be there and go in the house when the people's there and let them see what it is and be honest about it. Honesty is all we have, people. God only wants us to be honest. And, and we got to look out for each other. Now, these tax increases are just, to me, it's just ridiculous, especially if the rate y'all are going with them. And another thing, and I know you just said about the school board, but why are the average people, the average working people, that their kids have already, and I'm not talking about seniors, I'm talking about average working people, that their kids have already graduated school. They already put their kids through school. Why are they having to pay school taxes?
Amen. Amen.
Parents that made those children.
Amen.
Why does it not fall back on the parents that made those children?
That's right.
And why don't we get them to work?
Yeah.
If we keep handing, it's like having a stray dog. You don't want it there, but you keep feeding it. It ain't going there.
That's right.
And it ain't gonna do any better. It's up to us, but we, including y'all, especially y'all, are just making them better and better because you're taking more taxes from us to take care of it.
That's right.
Taxation without representation. That's what it is right here. And when you look at it, back to taxation without representation, does anybody know anything about that in history back many, many, many years ago? Y'all know? The Boston Tea Party. Y'all need to think about that. But y'all are leaving this as y'all's legacy. What's y'all's future family history? Children, grandchildren, so forth, so on. Well, they're gonna say, like, my grandpa did, so, oh my God, he didn't have things when he was in office. He went in there with integrity. Spoke in integrity and honesty. And that's what we need. And giving somebody, and I ain't ashamed to say it, a $50,000 a year raise, y'all pay him to cause havoc? I mean, I can do that for free. I was raised on that top. He needs to go back to the
Let's
bracket.
stick with the village rate of tax law.
Well, this has got to do with taxes. If you didn't give him that raise, you have more money in there to put in the tax pocket. But, now, we need, and like the lady said about the, itemizing, I think you and I talked about this the very first time we met, that first meeting in September. And I said something about we needed itemized statements of each and everything, transaction. You made the, Kevin, and I appreciate you calling back stuff, but this was your word to me. That'd take 50 pieces of paper. Well, guess what? These people here that's working and paying taxes, they paid for the paper, and the people that's gonna fill them out. So it needs to be on a monthly or quarterly thing, a newspaper report, not on your face, just your Facebook, on a newspaper, and on everything, where everybody that's got any kind of social media or anything can see it. Itemized statement, what each penny y'all take in and spend is for. And if there's anything left over, you put it in the pot for the next year to use for tax.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name's Elizabeth Hayes. I live at 228 Maple Grove Road. And I've never been to a meeting like this before. I'm a new homeowner. So I'm just kind of beginning my journey here. I'm a veterinarian, so I don't have any emotional statements to make tonight. My job is really helping community members to make rational decisions during an emotional time. I know we all remember the disaster of property valuation in 2024. And I realize that, that's different from this commission that's sitting here tonight. And, but the property values that we pay still greatly impact, or the property values that we're assigned still greatly impact, what we pay in taxes. And this affects not just citizens, but our businesses.
Yes.
I urge you guys to think that the idea of commercial property does not just mean some evil corporation out there. These are our neighbors that own small businesses whose property values have been inflated. So given that, they're paying more taxes now than they ever have before. Why would we need to increase the millage rate? Did the inflation of our properties, has that not brought in enough extra revenue? So, if not, then I know that we're all aware of the aggressive development of our rural communities here in Whitfield County. I've watched hundreds of acres of agricultural and woodland be turned into thousands of tiny lots with houses that are, now gonna be bringing in annual revenue for our county. So we've turned our cow fields with good neighbors into the high 300s.
Yeah.
So I just ask, these new developments here, is that not more than enough to fund the projects that we have in mind? Do we need to pass it on to the people that have been here for generations? So I'm sure you guys have already made a decision. I know you're voting tonight. I'm sure you've already made up your mind. But I urge you to reconsider, because as a new homeowner, I'm really frightened by what I see. So,
I had to write mine down, so I won't forget I'm old. Alfred, Virginia's, we live at 157 Columbus Way on Beaverdale Road. Okay, I'm here tonight because, okay, you're trying to vote in another tax on top of the two we're already getting, right? That's gonna be 3.
No, I don't know what you mean.
What?
I don't know what you mean by 2 or 3 taxes.
Okay,
There's
the one
already
for
a property tax.
24 and the one for 25. And now this one's coming up, right? This is 3.
No, that's not right.
Well, anyway, to try to.
It is confusing, but there's
What?
just one tax. There's just the one
Well, I
property
heard
tax.
there's another one coming up on school mileage. Mill rate.
Schools have already voted, I believe, yeah.
Oh, it has?
Yes.
Did it pass?
They said it flat.
It's not new, but they did the rollback.
Okay, anyway, we have 7 point so many acres out on Beaverdale Road. Okay, hit us triple. It went from 300,000 to 700-something thousand. That's over $500,000. We don't have that kind of property.
Did you appeal it?
And we cannot compete with what's going on in Whitfield County. We've lived here all of our life.
Right. Right.
And it just keeps going up and
Right.
up and up. When's it gonna let up for the American people that live in our county?
Right.
When's this gonna let up, or is it ever? We're supposed to be thinking about Thanksgiving and Christmas. My husband is disabled. I'm a caretaker 24/7. Okay. We cannot concentrate on anything except how we're gonna pay our taxes, because everything's getting out of hand. Okay. Thanksgiving and Christmas is supposed to be for family. How can you celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving knowing you've got a cloud hanging over your head and you don't know which way it's gonna go? Do you understand where I'm coming from? I'm 82 years old and he's 80. We shouldn't even have to be paying school taxes. We
You
paid
should-
our
you
share
should
over
not
the
be
years.
paying- You should be exempt from, starting next year, $325,000, but right now, if you have a senior exemption, you do have to apply for that. I hope you have.
For your homestead.
For your homestead. Is this your main
We're
property? This
getting
is where you
homestead
live?
exemption.
Okay,
Yeah, we are
the
getting
senior
homestead
homestead exemption. Everybody gets a homestead exemption, but the
Right.
senior one is special, you have to go apply
Okay,
for. You have to
okay,
go
I
apply
didn't
for
know
that.
that.
You have to go apply for that, but go ahead and apply for it one time.
But still, we feel the people that's in their 80s, our lifespan's about gone. Why should we have to pay school taxes and county taxes? We've paid it all of our life for 50 years. We've been here 50 years.
And we exempted, they just passed on
At
Tuesday.
least the school taxes should be exempt.
No, our
because
taxes
we-
are exempt too. You don't have to pay any county or school taxes up to $325,000 starting January. I don't know if your property's worth, you said $500,000 or $600,000, so you'll have to pay the difference. But the first $325,000, you'll pay no taxes to me or the county, or no taxes to
Well,
the
what about the
schools.
bill we got where our property increased to 700-something thousand? It doubles. Our property taxes doubles.
So did
You can
mine.
appeal
Explain
those.
that to me.
You
So
can
did
appeal
mine.
those. No, I cannot, because I'm not over the assessments, but you can appeal those. I do know that. That's your legal right.
Well, I still feel that our age, we shouldn't have to pay any kind of school taxes whatsoever. There's more people than just me, you know, that's older. And it's not fair. It's not fair to us because we've paid all of our life. Thank you for listening to me, and y'all have a happy Thanksgiving.
Glad you're here.
When is the last day for the appeals for 25? Is it already over with?
It's already over. Yeah, it's already over. I was just trying to figure out if she had appealed, or I guess she can appeal next year, but yeah.
Sheila Tavares, 4045 West Parliament Drive, Savannah, Georgia. Up on your screen, 68% of that was from the salaries, is that correct from that?
Oh, our total budget, yes.
The total budget, is that including y'all's salary?
That's, for what it is, yes.
Okay. Well, what I just can't comprehend is how somebody could get a ridiculous raise this year and a ridiculous amount of money that goes into the retirement for them every month. Who voted on that? That certainly is not helping us taxpayers, because that's our taxes, right, that's paying that. Is that right?
Pays all salaries.
What was the basis on getting a ridiculous raise? I'm not gonna say the amount, but it's no secret, everybody knows it. You
We
can look
voted
it up on
it.
social media. Yeah, so who approved that raise? I mean, that's ridiculous. Get on our level that we're having to live on. I mean, God's sakes, I mean, how much money does a person need? It's never enough, is it? It's never enough. But that's ridiculous that y'all approved, that was approved for that raise. And that's ridiculous that that person sitting right up here gets that amount of money when we are living from week to week. Majority of people are. That's ridiculous, and that was a shame that was approved out of our taxpayers' dollars.
Any other public comment, or anyone from downstairs coming up?
Good evening again, gentlemen. Claude Thomas, 500 Drive, Dalton, Georgia. In our church, we have a thing called bylaws. And we can call an emergency meeting anytime we need to, discuss finances, things like that. Hearing everybody here in this room, mostly people over 50 years old, and the main thing I'm hearing is tax assessments. They don't work for us. They don't work for us. If there's something in the bylaws where there can be an emergency meeting called to where we can see about getting these gentlemen replaced, to bring somebody in, because once again, if a person's house was $150,000 and now it's $300,000, their taxes going up. Also, your property insurance will go up because now you're having to adjust because they're saying the materials went up, all this. Now your property insurance finna increase. And for the ones that has an escrow account, your payment finna increase. And everybody don't make $100,000 a year. Right now, the average person in Whitfield County salary is $37,500. $37,500. Now they're saying your house is $400,000. Your taxes have went up. Now you're having to go to State Farm and say, hey, I'm gonna have to increase my property taxes up to this because if something was to happen, the value of my house is this. And once again, there's got to be something in the bylaws to where I keep hearing the assessors don't work for us. The assessors don't work for us, but they're representing us. So there should be something in Whitfield County bylaws to where an emergency meeting can be called, because I hear the concern of everybody in here.
Exactly.
They don't work for us. Well, you know, but they do work for us.
Yeah.
Because we're paying them.
That's right.
So anytime you are paying somebody, you have a say-so with somebody.
That's right.
Let somebody come to my house and I say they paint my house, and I tell them paint my house brown, he paint half my house blue. he's fired. But I hear everybody, and it's making me emotional because, like I said, pretty much y'all know what vote's gonna be, and I hope it's the right way. My situation may be different than 75% of people now. But we gotta have some type of bylaws in place to where it can be a mercy meeting call to where we can sit here and say, this ain't getting it. Because if a person's house is valued when they bought it, I bought my house in 1994. It went up, the taxes went up. And I was one of those that paid my taxes, I just paid my taxes because once again, everybody's salary is different. But then I started looking at it, wait a minute, my tax went from $900 to $2,300.
Exactly.
Then my property went up almost to $375,000. What did I do different? As the gentleman said, what did I do different in my house? Put a roof on it, another roof. You know, but these assessors coming out, I hope they're coming out. I'm hearing they're not coming out, but we can continue because that's representing us with your county. We can continue to have half the people in this building saying tax assessors, tax assessors. But once again, we pay their salaries. We should have some say so. Thank you.
Yeah, I understand what you mean about the bylaws, but we have to follow state law first. We can't have our own ordinances and our own rules, but state law over trumps anything that we have, so that's where it's set up now. I'm already on the record, so this should be a surprise, but maybe I haven't spoken with you guys. I don't like when Tennessee or Florida has something better than, in my opinion, than we have, and that is they elect their chief assessor. And that person, he or she, can hire and fire all their people. If they don't do a good job, they don't get elected again, and they get a new person in there. And that's what I think we should have in Georgia, so that's just my personal opinion.
Talk to your legislator.
But that's state law. Again, they'd have to put that on the ballot to approve that, but that's the fix that I would like to see. Get no board of assessors, because they're not elected, and we can only appoint them every 6 years, but just have a chief appraiser, which they have in Tennessee.
Well, how did they do that? How did they get them?
I've been lobbying our state legislatures, but that's where it starts. They pass a bill that says it can be an elected position, and we adopt it, and then it's on the ballot, and a person runs for it, just like they run for tax commissioner or
Maybe they should have a vote for the Woodville County and come in and vote to see that.
Yeah, it probably has to be statewide for that, since it's not a position. It doesn't exist today. It's not a constitutional officer today, so. Anyway, any additional comments? Anything from downstairs you're hearing, or anybody coming up? Okay, no other comments? All right, we'll move into our millage rate setting session. I think we definitely have heard loud and clear from the folks the last 3 meetings. Apologize it wasn't in the courthouse. We will definitely remedy that, but we had many hours and hundreds of people, I think, at least 100 people have spoken. So we've definitely gotten the opinions, I think, of everybody, as well as you can always email us and talk to us in the meantime. Is there a motion for the millage rate? We've got at least 4 options on the board there to consider. I think we've pretty much eliminated most of it's already. The worst case scenario, which is $72 increase per year.
None of us want to increase taxes. I gotta pay taxes just like the rest of it. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna come up with the $10,000, close to $10,000 I gotta pay. But we also have to pay the bills up here, and everything is more expensive. We pave roads, and asphalt keeps going higher and higher and higher. A load of asphalt's $2,000 now, before it's laid down. Fuel's more, electricity's more. My house, my 4 chicken houses, I got $5,000 a month power bill. I know what bills are. I don't take this lightly. I'm hurting just like the rest of you. There's a minimum we can do just to squeak by. I think it's the 4.6.
Motion by Commissioner Jones for 4.6, which is about $1.67 per month for a $250,000 home, or 3.4% increase. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Robbins. Further discussion? I guess I'll echo.
There's another thing that we could do, and I'd like to see it happen.
Yeah.
Is put this flock on the ballot and let the people vote for it. cause it will just about wipe out your total county M&O portion of your tax bill.
Doesn't help the schools,
On your
unfortunately,
homestead,
but-
on your homestead, it doesn't help with the schools,
They
it's
will
only county
Put
M&O.
that number right up there, yeah.
And I'd like to see that going about it.
Yeah, I was watching Murray County, they had it on their ballot. We had the other items on our ballot for the seniors and all that, but I think that's the next logical step as well, if the citizens are interested in it. It's a sales tax, but it's paid by us, it's paid by everybody that goes up and down I-75, and it can't be spent by us, it has to go directly to you as a credit on your bill. So it's not like we're just gonna buy police cars with it. I love your police card, but that's not what it's for. It has to do with your tax, and you get a direct credit on there. So that's how the floss works. And if you guys are interested, we can have some experts come and talk to us after the holidays on how that would work. And if you want to put it on the ballot, you have to approve it. We can't approve that. It's up to you.
It's a new
And,
tax. I think the first step should be looking at the numbers, looking at the spending. I don't think we should do a different tax, a different way to tax.
That's fine. That's fair. I'm sure we'll have budget meetings, and to that point, echo what Commissioner Jones says. Our 2026, which 2025 is over. We can look at those with you. No, nothing to hide in 2025, but we're almost over. We can't take that money back. But 2026, I think it's going to be an austerity type budget, which means not just the minimum, but maybe a little bit less than the minimum budget. No increases, no fluffs in any line items in our budget. So we're working on that now, and I think that's what we heard. You guys don't want to be here a year from now hearing about double-digit tax increases, and we definitely don't want to be here trying to defend them. So that's how we avoid that, is by looking at an austere style budget for 2026, which we haven't passed yet. We're still working on it. So there's definitely plenty of time to change that. So.
When will that be available to you for 2026?
We'll start with those are public meetings too. So like I said, I know people think we hide things, but we really don't. We post all these detailed budgets online, and we have public meetings on the budgets. Those will start in November, but they'll continue into December as well. So you'll have plenty of notice to attend, but it'll be starting in the next week or two. But through December, won't just be one meeting, more than likely be several meetings. So we have a motion, second. Any other conversation or comment from you, Mr. Collins?
Call for the question.
All right. All in favor of 4.6 millage rate, raise your hand or say aye. Any opposed? Passes on a 4-0 vote. Is there a motion to adjourn? Adjourned.